Hey everybody, we're live this afternoon. It's Friday afternoon at 12:30 Eastern, and you're here with Maureen Walbioff, presenting, as always, some practical wisdom for nonprofit accidental techies. And today, we're going to talk about something that made me feel like an extremely accidental techie because my Facebook page got hacked a couple of weeks ago, and it kind of thrust me into a place of worry and worst case scenario thinking and needing to rely on the giant entity that is Facebook to kind of help me not address this and not make it worse. So we're going to get into that story in just a little minute. I hope you all are having a great week, and I'm glad that you're here ending your week with me. If you're not at the Bridge Conference in DC or Netroots Nation in, I think, Philly, so lots of people are at these really great conferences this week, and I've got big FOMO right now. So before we get into the Facebook hacking story and tips for fixing it and preventing it, in case this hasn't happened to you yet, I just want to give a little promo for next week's Facebook Live. It's going to be a new and exciting format that we're going to try. I'm bringing on someone else, which might be a relief. You're tired of me talking to you alone. I'm going to bring Lily from Every Action onto our Facebook Live next Friday, the 19th at 12:30. She works for Every Action. She is their product manager around payment processing. And we're going to talk all about online payments, understanding them, understanding, what the processor does versus what the merchant account does versus what the gateway does. And we're going to answer your questions. So would love to have you here next week. I'll be putting some promos out about it, but let's get clear on payment processing. It's a very common place for many of us to be at least a little fuzzy. So be here next week. All right, so this is one of those cases of I lived it. Unfortunately, someone a few weeks ago decided to create a fake Facebook profile of me. And my name is Maureen Walbioff, not a very common name, so chances were good that it was either me or someone spoofing my page. And I actually have some notes here today that I want to refer to because it does get a little step-by-step and technical. So kind of here's what happened. A couple of weeks ago, it was a Tuesday night, I was hanging out here in the living room, and I got a Facebook message from an actual Facebook friend who said, "Hey, I just got a weird Facebook message. Did you just send me something?" And I wrote her back and I said, "No, it wasn't me. Oh, drat, somebody's messaging my friends." And I really didn't worry about it too much. I actually thought I could just ignore it. And so she and I kept on chatting on Messenger and got off onto a real conversation. So the one thing I did do, though, was go in and change my password immediately. I changed my Facebook password, changed it on my phone and my computer and my tablet so I could log in. But that was the one thing that I did immediately. Went to bed. The next morning was Wednesday morning, and I got a text from a relative who said, "I just got a weird Facebook message that probably isn't you." And I was like, "Oh, this thing isn't going to go away. I actually have to do something about it." I hesitated, and here's why I hesitated. Because I've got a relative, the same person who texted me, actually one of my aunts, had the same thing happen to her a couple of years ago, and she wound up having to, Facebook disabled her real account in an effort to smush the scammers. So she had to create a whole new Facebook page, refriend everybody. She couldn't use her normal name because that was now smushed, unauthorized pages from her. So even though she didn't cause it and somebody just spoofed her page, she wound up needing to really bear the brunt of this, if you can call it the brunt, on Facebook. But listen, man, I've got a personal Facebook page, I've got this business Facebook page, I've got a Facebook group, and my ad account is all connected to my personal Maureen Walbioff Facebook page. So because of her, experience, I was doing super worst case scenarios in my head. Kathy is here, so glad to see you here this afternoon. We're talking about Facebook fake pages and being spoofed, and it literally just happened to me a couple weeks ago. So I wound up, sitting and thinking and doing a little bit of Googling, but in the meantime, my aunt actually went ahead and reported the fake page to Facebook. And so part of me was like, oh, the wheels are in motion now. Once Facebook knows about it, it's sort of out of my hands what winds up happening. And I will admit, sorry, Auntie, it was like this moment of me that was like, damn it, now I'm going to have to recreate everything just like you did. Luckily, that's not what happened. But I did have this accidental techie moment of being like, this is going to be a disaster. There's no way this is going to be able to be handled simply and easily. Within an hour of her reporting this spoofy page, I got an email from Facebook that said, someone's reported a page that is pretending to be you. We're going to look into it and we'll keep you posted. And at that point, I wasn't happy. I was still like, it's in the hands of Facebook. We don't trust him as far as we can throw him. And yet this is where this video is being produced right now. So hi, Facebook, if you're watching. But there's this sense of I have no control over what happens next, and I need to prepare myself in case they want me to shut my primary account down, because that certainly was at play. So about 6 hours later, I got another email from Facebook, and I want to read to you exactly what it said. We removed a profile that your friend reported because it didn't follow our community standards. And what those are, I think, are amorphous for most of us, and even for people who are working at Facebook. I think there's a lot of personal decision making that goes into what happens when a fake account is reported. So they said, we let the other fake profile owner know that it's been removed, but not who reported it. We're sorry that you had this experience. If in the future you come across someone impersonating you, please let us know. And they put a link to report it again, in case that happens again. So the end of my story is a benign one. It's a good one. They got rid of the spoofer. I'm continuing on with little disruption. But it really made me wonder, like, why is this happening? Who is trying to do this? Because, we all know that there's a lot of snarky, shady business happening on social media and on the internet, generally speaking. I shouldn't just say social media. But Facebook most particularly is fraught with issues, fraught with fakeness, fraught with spoofing, fraught with weird fake links that take you somewhere that you shouldn't be going, that can actually be problematic, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I did a whole bunch of research to prep for today's session. So really there's three main things that could be happening if this has happened to you or someone that you know or love. The first is cloning, just cloning your page. Someone is creating a duplicate account under your name, and they're targeting your friends, not you. So as much as it felt like my account and my privacy and security was compromised, it's really just a door to get to my friends, which is why they started to fake message my friends. Because if they can create a connection with one of my friends, they can send a link to them to take them somewhere that could cause problems today, tomorrow, in a week, whatever. So I was just kind of the portal for this bad actor, whoever wound up spoofing my page. And it's easy to get personal information from people once you're friends with them on Facebook and are using Facebook Messenger. Pay attention. Facebook cloning. The second way that this is happening is that there are fake accounts that are for sale all around the internet. So you could literally buy verified fake accounts online for like 50 bucks and use them for this Trojan horsey kind of thing that I just went over. I don't know if my name is on a list of fake accounts for purchase. Knock wood, it's not. Hopefully I will go many years into the future without needing to deal with this again. But maybe my name is on a list somewhere of some type of verified account that's going to slip in through Facebook's requirements and verification processes that it uses to make sure that a real person is actually creating a page. Oh, excuse me, I said 50 bucks, as little as $1.50. So not a lot of spend to get a lot of fake pages and start to manage them in ways that are connecting with those friends. Some of the purveyors have thousands and thousands of accounts for sale. Where they get them, how they're created, there's a whole industry that hopefully none of us are participating in, wittingly or unwittingly, to generate revenue generation schemes like Facebook fake accounts. The third way that your Facebook account can be compromised is by malware that's literally designed, that's coded and developed to hack your Facebook account. So the way that those things can happen is you might click a link. So let's talk about Facebook quizzes. All those quizzes that used to be super, super popular that we all used to take. I don't see so many of them anymore. That was a really major way that data breaches happened. So if you see any of those quizzes on Facebook, I'm going to advise you not to take them, as fun as they might be, because they could take you to a link that, unbeknownst to you, is installing malware on your computer. And that malware is going to unpack itself, crawl through your system, and take over your Facebook account and start to use it to do malice, make money, cause mayhem, whatever. So be very careful, especially if you, here's a very common scenario. You get taken to, you see a video that a friend posted, you click the link to watch the video. Rather than playing in Facebook, it takes you to YouTube, except it's not really YouTube. It's a fake page that looks just like YouTube, and when you go to click that video, sometimes you'll get a prompt that says, click here to install the latest YouTube player. Click, here comes the malware right into your machine. So be very, very careful. You know, I like to be kind of easy and breezy on these things. There's a lot of like nefarious crapola that's happening out there, and clearly something happened. Either I did it unwittingly, or somebody just grabbed my name and decided to spoof me. And the problem continues to grow. I'm going to lay some Facebook fake account stats on you that are kind of going to blow your mind a little bit. There are 2.4 billion real Facebook accounts. Facebook's the one who generates this data, so remember that. 2.4 billion real accounts. In the first 6 months of 2019, Facebook removed 3.4 billion fake accounts, more than the real accounts. That's how many fake accounts are out there. That's twice the number that they removed during the same time period in 2018. So it continues to grow. I think even though it's the first time it's affected me, I've kind of girded my loins to be ready for it to happen again. They say, Facebook claims that nearly all fake accounts are caught by IA, artificial intelligence means, and a little bit of human monitoring before they do any damage. Clearly, they didn't catch mine. So what nearly all of 3.4 billion actually looks like, I have no idea. Maybe like 2 billion, and there's still 1.4 billion floating out there, causing havoc. And Facebook also attributed the fact that this number of bad Facebook accounts is growing to, quotes, automated attacks by bad actors, my least favorite hacker term, who attempt to create large volumes of accounts at one time. So my gut tells me that that's what happened. I got swept into some big Facebook fake account creation thing, and luckily my friends let me know. While my experience in fixing this, at least as far as I can tell, was speedy and painless, and all of the nightmare scenarios that I had painted in my head did not come to pass this time around, it certainly did make me feel vulnerable. And it made me feel more worried than mad, frankly. You know, you could have your story. My story could have turned out very differently. Your story could turn out very differently. If an account, thanks Kathy, I'm glad this is helpful. Facebook also says that if an account appears to be impersonating another user but isn't engaged in harmful behavior, however Facebook quantifies or qualifies that, Facebook often leaves it up. And that's what happened to my aunt. My aunt had to create a new Facebook account because the fake one stayed up for a while. She deleted her original one. Facebook eventually deleted the fake one, but it caused a lot of havoc for her, as I mentioned. So here's what to do if you get that message from a friend that says, dude, you just sent me a really freaking weird message. And it's usually very generic and stilted, like, hey, how are all of you doing? Okay, I'm not going to send a message like that. So if you get one like that, you're pretty guaranteed it's not me. If your friend reports like weirdo message, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do a search on Facebook, and you're going to find the profile that looks like it's the fake one. And if you've got a very common name, Kathy, your name is not common. I imagine if you looked for yourself, if you were worried there was a fake account, you could find yourself and that other fake account, and that was it. If you have a very common name like Bob Smith, you're going to have to rely on your friend to report that account because they actually have it in their messenger in a way that you don't, or they can at least email you or text you the link to the fake profile that sent them that weird Facebook message. So when you're on a profile page, there's this 3 dots up on the profile cover image, and it's called an ellipses, and if you click on that, it's actually going to give you an option to report this profile, and that's what you want to click. You're going to pick the option, they're pretending to be me or someone I know, and if it's you, you get to check, yes, they're pretending to be me, and you're going to submit to Facebook for review. If you're able to pull up the profile, or you're able to have your friend take a screenshot of the message and the profile that the message is coming from, you can also upload those. Be prepared to need to provide identification. I know that in some cases, folks say you have to actually submit photos of yourself that are either on your Facebook page now or photos that are of you, so we can make sure that it's really you who's making this request and it's not a nefarious request, like I had a fight with somebody and I'm going to report their profile as being spoofing something. So Facebook fields all of those requests, legitimate and not, like millions of them a week, I imagine. Have your friend report it too. I didn't need to report it because my aunt did, but it's best if you can have 2 people report it, and that and add some veracity or power to the request for Facebook to check into it. So that's what to do if it happens, but how do you prevent it? We're going to spend the last couple minutes talking about easy ways to minimize the chance that this is going to happen to you or someone that you know or your business page. The first thing is to change your password. Change your password frequently. I'm talking every 3 months is probably pretty good. Put a reminder in your phone or in your Gmail calendar or your Outlook calendar. Every 90 days, change your password. I know it's a drag. I know you got to change it on 3 devices, but do it, do it, do it. It adds that extra protection in case your name and password are floating out there on the black market, on the dark web for people to take advantage of. And change the passwords to any accounts that are linked to Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Hootsuite, Hey Edgar, whatever programs you're using that either you manage in a linked way to Facebook, change those passwords too, because they're all connected. And also if you have an account that you are using Facebook to authenticate your identity, that is social sign-on is ginormous. You know, if you have a subscription to the Washington Post, for example, you can manage your account by logging in through Facebook or with your Facebook credentials. That's another place that information is sort of sitting out there. So, you know, social media sign-in is easy. I try to really minimize the number of times I use other sites' authentication for getting me into some other password protected site. So that's a really easy way. There's also two-factor authentication that you can turn on in Facebook. It's got a bunch of steps to it. So if you are on your Facebook page watching this right now, you can do a search on the help files for set up two-factor authentication, and that along with regular password changes can actually help you, you know, wall your account off a little bit better. Another thing that you can do that I don't think I ever thought of as being helpful around Facebook security is hiding your friend list. It's public by default. So if you want to hide your friend list, you can click the pencil icon, and in your security settings, you get to decide whether your friend list is public or private. And I think that's Kathy. You use Facebook to sign into things all the time. You might want to work on that over the summer. Work on breaking that dependence. So make your friends list private. That way somebody who's faking an account can't go and look at your real page, find your friends, and try to message them the way that the faker did with my friend list. Don't accept weird friend requests. I get these all the time, both on this business page and on my personal Facebook page. You know, Wally Rivera, no image, you know, just sent you a friend request. Just delete them. If it's somebody who is real, they're going to contact you another way. If you must not delete them first, if your curiosity is just getting the better of you and you really are interested in who Wally Rivera is and why Wally wants to meet up with you on Facebook so badly, you can click, don't accept the friend request, but you can click on their name or the photo and it will take you to the profile. And I am betting that you're going to see maybe one stock photo, businessman, woman on sailboat, you know, like a very stockish kind of image. No friends, no posts. Delete that sucker. You don't need any more fake Facebook friends. So really just like let go of the curiosity and just delete those friend requests. And then finally, and this is a really tricky one, you have to pay attention to links before you click them. The URL, if you hover over a link before you click it, and you look in the bottom right corner, if you're on a desktop or a laptop or a tablet, you can often see the full URL. And if it doesn't say YouTube, it's a YouTube link, it's probably not going to take you to YouTube. Now, many people don't pay attention to URLs, they just click stuff. Because I've been doing this website and digital work for so long, I always look at URLs. I always hover over them before I take the act of clicking on them. The place where this gets tricky is URL shorteners like bit.ly, bit.ly. I use bit.ly all the time, especially to link to things on Twitter, because sometimes the URLs are really long and I only have a certain number of characters to use on Twitter. Or I want a custom URL. Like this page actually has a bit.ly link that the back end of it, the final part of that URL, is NP Tech Cure, nonprofit technology cure, right? That's what I hope that I'm doing with my consulting work and these resources and videos that I have for folks. So you can't always rely on the URL to tell you exactly where you're going to wind up going. So just tread carefully. Like it is still kind of a dangerous world out there. I was shocked that I got hacked, and in hindsight, that was dumb. I should not have been hacked. But I hope that these tips will help you, and I'm actually going to come up with a resource probably sometime over the next couple days, and I'll put a link to the resource in the comments here. If this has happened to you or your nonprofit organization, I would love to hear your story. This is how we learn together when crap happens and then somebody fixes it. We need to share this information with each other in a digestible way, in a trusting environment, because the last thing you want is to follow instructions that are actually fake. And nothing here is fake. So the steps that I've shared with you, I'm going to serve up in kind of an easy to use format. But share your stories with all of us nonprofit accidental techies. That's how we learn together. It's safer to learn in a group that you trust. And so I'd love to hear any tips or tricks that you could even add to the suggestions that I made today. So don't accept weird friend requests. Believe people if they message you and are like, dude, you just sent me the weirdest Facebook message ever. What's up with you? Was it really you? Not you. Take those steps, report that profile as false. Be brave and have Facebook review it. Most of the time it's going to turn out okay. And as I said, props to Facebook, because within just a few hours, everything was resolved. Hopefully to stay that way for a little while. Before we wrap, again, next Friday the 19th at 12:30, me, Lily, super smart payment processing, online gift processing guru, is going to join me. She works with Every Action, and we're going to have a little chatty back and forth with a couple of visual aids like Schoolhouse Rock for online payment processing. But we probably will not sing, as far as I can tell. We haven't practiced any songs. So with that, I will see you all next Friday afternoon. Share this around. If you've got somebody that you know or love or work with who has Facebook spoofing issues, send this video around to them. And I wish all of you a wonderful rest of your Friday afternoon and a wonderful, wonderful summer weekend. And we'll see you here next week. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.